Hey y'all, iRick Sky here. Welcome back to another Timepieces for Tomorrow video. And this is all about the Rolex Submariner 114060. This video is in 4K, so if you got a 4K display, crank it up and see all the detail. But I just want to do a follow-up review. I like to keep people informed and share honest wristwatch advice. And I picked this puppy up in 2013 in the Cayman Islands. I was down there in the Cayman Islands, and I said, one of my multiple business ventures kind of picked up, and I'm like, I got to buy a Rolex. So I bought myself a Rolex, and I bought this one. Now, when I bought this one, I bought it. They had everything there. I mean, this was before all the perceived Rolex shortage appeared. I mean, they had Daytonas, they had the Hulk, they had the GMT that's now discontinued with the green hand. They had the Batman. They had all different, they had the Kermit as well as the Hulk. It was new old stock Kermit because at that point in time, they weren't as desirable as they are today. You know, the ones with the green bezel. But I wanted this because I wanted simplicity. I wanted symmetry. Obviously, there's no date cyclops to dirty up the dial. It's got ceramic, so this bezel shouldn't fade. It shouldn't crack. You know, this should last many lifetimes. And the thing I want to talk about is just how it's worn. I mean, I wear this thing everywhere, man. I wear it in the swimming pool. I wear it in hot tubs. I wear it in showers. I wear it in oceans. I wear it snow skiing. I wear it camping. You know, it's just a wear everywhere kind of watch. And I wear it with a suit. I wear it with a swimsuit. You know, different types of suits. But it held up. It's holding up well. Obviously, you can see on the polished sides it's got scratches because, you know, it bangs into walls. It gets, you know, you grab a bag or something or a backpack with your hand, your left arm, if you wear it on your left wrist, and it scratches it. You lean up on the side of a pool and you've been drinking some rum and Coke, and you know what? You scratch it inadvertently. So it's got scratches. But, you know, these things are meant to be worn. And it's got a pretty bad scratch over there. Look at that. But that's the thing about the Submariner. It's a tool watch. You know, it's not something you get and put in your you know, safe or whatever and never pull it out. I mean, it's meant to be worn. Now, in today's market, these things, at least currently at the time of filming this video, they're hard to come by because of whatever's going on with the supply chain. Who knows? But, you know, back when I got it, I felt it was a good deal. And, you know, wear it anywhere. I wear it anywhere because I got it for a good deal. I don't worry about it. You know, if you're going to buy a watch, you need to wear it. Especially a dive watch, you need to wear it like it's meant to be worn. And that's pretty much everywhere. You know, it's got this screw-down crown. By the way, I've never serviced it. And the timekeeping is still about, you know, plus minus 2 seconds, I would say. You can see it's got that rubber gasket in there. Rubber, as Archibald Chesterfield III might say, rubber gasket. You can see that rubber gasket in there. That further enhances the water resistance of it. This, of course, is rated to 300 meters or 1,000 feet. Now, obviously, you got to make sure your crown is screwed down because if your crown's not screwed down, man, you're going to introduce water into it and really ruin it. Not necessarily ruin it, but you're going to have to service it because it's going to get all janky on the inside. This has what's called the triplock crown. You can see it's indicated by those 3 dots underneath the crown. Again, the bezel is ceramic, and the graduations are platinum. So, you know, this is not a precious metals piece, but it does have use of platinum within the graduations. And then the indices and the hands are white gold. So you got gold there. Now this uses and they say blue lume. Now this uses what's called chromolite luminescence on the little pip right there and on the hands and the indices. But what chromolite does, it kind of gives it a blue color. Now, if you just, you know, shine the light on it, go in a dark room, you're probably going to think, man, that's kind of green. But it's actually a bluish green. It's more blue than green. Because if you compare this, the Rolex Submariner 114060, to a previous reference Submariner, or maybe another wristwatch that uses super luminova, you're probably going to find that those luminous materials are probably more green in color, whereas this is more blue. So, first thing, you look at it in the dark and you're like, man, that's not really blue, but compare it to other timepieces and you'll see, yeah, it is more blue than green. So it's very, very easy to read in the dark. Obviously, if you go into a cave and stay in a cave all night, the lume's going to wear off after a while. But if you've been inside and then you step outside in the dark and you look down at your wrist, you should see it glowing. So yeah, it's super nice. I think the dial's very clean. Again, it does not have the date cyclops, which is nice because you got symmetry. You don't have that, you got a flat sapphire crystal instead of having that annoying cyclops over there. Some people want the date. Some people say, man, if it doesn't have a date, some people get the date because they don't want to look like they spent less for a non-date reference Submariner. And the reality is that the non-date is actually a lot more desirable in the minds of most collectors than the Submariner date references. So, just something to keep in mind. But I like it because of the symmetry. I like it because I just wind and wear. I don't have to fiddle with a date. Something that you're going to keep for a long time. I have no intentions to sell or trade. This is something I don't want to have to deal with cost of ownership. If I've got a date on there, inadvertently I could, incorrectly adjust the date. If you adjust, for example, if you adjust the date on an automatic wristwatch when the hands are in the wrong spot, you can potentially break the date wheel. And I know that's easy to do with like a Valjoux 7750 movement that's present in a lot of Breitlings. So for that reason, whenever I adjust the date on any timepiece, I'm always going around the 6 or 7 o'clock position. I don't want to risk it. So, with this though, it's like, okay, well, it doesn't have a date, so that's one less thing to malfunction going forward. It'll probably be, obviously I would send it to Rolex if it needs to be serviced, if it ever needs to be serviced. Some people service, every 5 or 6 years or so just to check and ensure that the water resistance is still appropriate, even if the timekeeping is still good. That's a matter of personal preference. But I just wanted something that was wind and wear, don't have to worry about it, minimal cost of ownership going forward, hopefully something I never have to service. But if I do have to or choose to service, hopefully it'll be less expensive than some of the other timepieces, some of the high horology. The horlogier timepieces. But look at that. You got a dimensional element to the indices, and you can see the ring of Rolex around the chapter ring, which is kind of, people like it or hate it. The reality is you don't even notice it when you're wearing it. It's just one of those other anti-counterfeiting mechanisms that they put in there. And also they've got, you can't see it in this, check out my other video where I explain how to spot the Rolex laser etched crown, or the Rolex LEC, L-E-C, and it's around the 6 o'clock position. If you get a bright light and you shine it, and I'll, check out my other video where I show how to do that. But on this particular reference, and several other Rolex references, you will see a Rolex crown appear within the sapphire crystal around the 6 o'clock position. But, check out my other video where I demonstrate that. This video, I'm just doing a follow-up review of the Submariner 114060, also commonly referred to as a sub-no-date, or the sub-ceramic no-date, or the sub-non-date, or the sub-ceramic non-date, or just, as it should be called, just the Rolex Submariner. Because the one that has the date's called the Rolex Submariner date. And see, even on the dial here, it just says Rolex Oyster Perpetual Submariner, 300,000 feet, 300 meters, superlative chronometer, officially certified. And then down there at 6 o'clock says Swiss made, because this is Swiss made. So, just a great piece. Again, you do have the crown guards, which may better protect, you know, you're banging it against a wall or something by mistake. It may better protect that crown from getting knocked and potentially dislodged. So, you know, some people don't like the presence of crown guards. They do serve a purpose. They can serve a purpose. But great piece, the bracelet, again, holding up very well. And again, it utilizes screws, which is nice. The case back is super comfortable. The clasp is super nice. And again, the ability to do micro adjustments with the glide lock, even though I never use it. If you're somebody that, you know, maybe you get really fat or something in the winter and your wrist gets bigger, then you can make micro adjustments using this what's called the glide lock clasp without having to use a screwdriver to to remove links from your bracelet or add links to your bracelet. So, you know, as your wrist size fluctuates, you can easily make micro adjustments with that. So that's a cool feature. You know, you can't go wrong with Rolex sports watches and stainless steel. You know, I preference them over the precious metals. I know the precious metals look nice. If I was going to own a precious metals piece, it would be a two-tone, you know, something like the GMT Master 2 root beer. But, I mean, this is just, in my opinion, the perfect piece. It's simple. It's timeless Rolex. It's, you know, nothing flashy. I mean, it's just stainless steel. And must I add, this is not your standard stainless steel. Rolex, you know, kicks it up a notch with the stainless steel they use. And it's, it's a tier above your standard stainless steel that you're going to see in a lot of other high-end wristwatches. You can see in here, this is kind of murky, and that's because I just shower with it, man. I use shampoo and soap and just get it all over this. And that's a topic of dispute. Do you think that you should bathe with your wristwatches that are highly water resistant? Or do you feel that this soap scum could potentially degrade the stainless steel over time? I mean, is it something that could potentially damage the stainless steel? You know, could it affect the structural integrity of the stainless steel? I don't know. Comment below. I'm not an expert with this, but what I am is an expert from the perspective that I will tell you that, you know, this is an excellent wristwatch. Now, again, on today's market, it's hard to say. I mean, you know, if this isn't something that I'd gotten into back in 2013, I'd probably be like, I don't know. I would be a buyer of Tudor, and Tudor is really good. Tudor is Rolex's sister brand. Check out a lot of my timepieces for tomorrow videos where I review various Tudor timepieces, some of which that, you know, I find myself wearing those a lot more than the Submariner. You know, even the Submariner is just, this is kind of the king of wristwatches. Even somebody that knows nothing about wristwatches or very little about wristwatches, they're often going to associate the Submariner as being the wristwatch, you know, the best wristwatch in the world. Even if they're not a watch collector, even if they're just somebody that, you know, maybe they're some sort of salesperson and they want to be like, oh man, I've made it in life, you know, and slap a Rolex on their wrist, they're probably going to get the Submariner just because it's arguably the most recognizable wristwatch in the world. So nothing wrong with it. There's a reason why it's so popular, and it's just super comfortable. Wear anywhere, you know, in a swimsuit or a suit and tie, or, just wear it naked in the shower. I mean, wherever you want to. It's just a great piece. And, you know, again, it's nothing flashy. It's just stainless steel, and it's very comfortable in the wrist. So tell me what you think within the comment section below, and be sure to subscribe and ring that bell icon when you do to be notified whenever I post another video. And check out all my timepieces for tomorrow videos and my live shows. And if you want to be a guest on a live show, man, just comment below, and I'll see if I can get you on an upcoming Timepieces for Tomorrow live show to talk about wristwatches. Thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day. Hey y'all, Captain Irix Guy here. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to subscribe. It's youtube.com/Irix Guy. And ring that bell icon when you do to be notified whenever I post another video. Thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day.